Setup and operation of the MVP20K. It is the sole responsibility of the owner of this equipment to properly train all personnel on proper use of the equipment and provide written directions to operator. Inspect unit for any shipping damages before accepting the unit. Your unit is shipped on a pallet and folded up for transit from the factory and must be unfolded and put into the proper pulling position set up before use. Remove packing material, cutting along tape line as shown. Ensure to cut down the tape line to avoid puncturing hydraulic lines. Once packaging is cut away and T-brace has been taken off the pallet, remove anchoring points from MVP20K used to stabilize the unit to the pallet during shipping. Note: when forklifting the MVP20K, pick up unit from either of the capstan sides or from the skid steer attachment side as shown. Caution: picking from front boom and opposite of skid steer attachment side increases the chance of damaging the hydraulic hoses with forks. Once removed from shipping pallet, set MVP20K on level ground. Remove force gauge and foot switch from stored location on tower. While holding the weight of the control tower, pull pop pins at base of either side of the tower. Tip towards capstans until the pins engage the next locking position. This will allow extra room for coupling to skid steer. Couple skid steer to MVP20K skid plate, ensuring that the plate is fully seated and the coupling arms are fully locked as shown. Once the MVP20K is coupled correctly, set on flat level surface. Connect the corresponding hydraulic hoses from MVP20K to skid steer. Your skid steer most likely will have a pressure relief valve. Release pressure valve to make connection of hoses easier. Note: tie wrap the hydraulic hoses to step as shown here to help keep hoses free of pinch points. Pull pop pins at the base of the control tower and tip the tower towards skid steer back into operating position. Hold the weight of the tower as you do this, ensuring the tower does not drop or slam into position. Once tower is in operating position, ensure pop pins are locked and engaged. Reinsert the foot switch and force gauge back into their holsters. When transporting the MVP20K, it is recommended to have unit folded as shown with pins fully inserted and in the locked position. Note: the MVP20K requires continuous flow to run. Make sure your skid steer's auxiliary switch is set to continuous when operating the puller. To unfold the extensions, begin with the MVP20K flat on ground. Use the main boom control to slightly raise or lower boom until main boom pin easily comes out. Note: if your booms are not moving, temporarily increase set tension pressure. Then lower main boom to a position just above horizontal to the ground as shown. You do not need to reinstall main boom pin once lowered. Note: if the main boom is extended all the way down, you will not have room to unfold pulling head. To unfold main boom, first remove folding hinge pin. While lifting the end of main roller, maneuver the folded half of the main boom to be in line with the rest of the boom. While still lifting the main roller, reinsert the folding hinge pin. Important note: your puller was shipped in a folded position with the folding hinge pinned in a transporting location. When using the wire puller, always unfold the puller and move the folding hinge location to the pulling location to reinforce the pulling boom. To install front extension, have your skid steer running with auxiliary power on and set to continuous flow. Remove main roller articulating pin while holding the main roller from rotating right or left. Have operator raise main boom slowly. Meanwhile, one person needs to hold the main roller and begin to turn it downward, using gravity to do the work. Keep hydraulic hoses in line. Don't let hoses corkscrew around extension. Caution: do not stand underneath main roller as you turn it. Keep control of the main roller to prevent it turning too quickly or falling. Once main roller is facing down, reinsert pin. Remove main roller adjustment pin and front hydraulic boom pin as shown. This will allow the front outer extension portion to swing freely. To install front extension, use a 5/16 Allen wrench to loosen the set screws, using the X-brace as example. Remove pin from front extension as well. Tip extension, remove silver inner tubing from brace, tilt and insert extension, reinsert pin. Install the T-brace or X-brace using the same process as before. Tip, tilt, and align, and slide together manually. Insert pin at desired length. Reinsert from hydraulic pin by tipping extension forward and aligning pin points. Caution: do not try to set extensions and pins using power from hydraulics. Doing the adjustments manually limits the potential for injury. To adjust the front extension, boom front extension and brace up and out. Then remove pin and slide base accordingly. Take caution to hold base using 2 people to set final adjustment point. Placing unit for an underground pull. Position base just in front of conduits so main roller extends above conduit bank to be pulled for an underground configuration. Using a rotary hammer, set 2 5/8" concrete anchors to secure base as shown. Note: structural integrity is based upon concrete and anchor manufacturer specifications. Placing unit for overhead or side pull. Position base in front of the conduit, allowing room for your sheave to rotate. In this example, we are using a 24-inch sheave, so we're positioned about 30 inches back from the conduit front edge to the picking eye. Supplying the control tower power. Ensure set tension switches in vertical set tension position. Plug provided Milwaukee battery into the provided Milwaukee inverter. Plug the provided foot switch into the inverter. Turn on the Milwaukee inverter. After you have plugged your foot switch in, plug the control tower into the back of the foot switch power cord. On the control tower, pull out on the emergency stop. If the tower and foot switch are plugged in properly, you will see the backlights for the emergency stop and tension set switch come on. Power and lights will only be supplied when the foot switch is pressed. Note: if no lights come on, check that the emergency stop is pulled out. Then check that the foot switch is properly plugged in. If they are, check to see if power inverter is on and the battery is charged. Setting the desired pulling force and pressure for your pull. On the side of the control tower, open the pulling speed control all the way by rotating knob counterclockwise. Decide what capstan you are going to be using for your pull. Large capstan is for higher speeds and lower torque. Smaller capstan is for lower speeds and more weight. When looking at the force gauge, the outer set of numbers indicates the large high-speed capstan. Meanwhile, the inner set of numbers are for the small low-speed high-torque capstan settings. To set your maximum pulling tension, ensure the tension set switch is in the vertical set tension position. With foot switch pressed, rotate the output torque limit dial to match the desired pulling force. Note: start 500 pounds to 1,000 pounds below desired pulling force, then increase as needed to ensure that the maximum force is not exceeded. Adjust speed dial to match desired speed by rotating dial clockwise or counterclockwise. Proper rope use. Note: minimum size rope required is PS 9/16 inch with a tensile strength of 39,000 pounds, PS 3/4 inch with a tensile strength of 65,000 pounds, or PS 7/8 inch with a tensile strength of 79,000 pounds. Always keep rope on line guide roller to prevent damage. Wrapping the rope about the capstan should be accomplished by adding 2 to 3 wraps at a time. Start with 2 wraps, then apply tension to the rope to see if the load is moving or still requires more wraps. If the load isn't moving, add 2 or 3 wraps around the capstan and apply tension. Repeat as necessary until rope rotation matches the rotation of the capstan while under load. Maintenance of your MVP20K. Following these steps is imperative to the upkeep of your unit. Lube chain daily as shown here. Grease rope guides every 100 hours of operation as shown. Change hydraulic filter every 200 hours of operation. Before you pull checklist. Ensure the main boom pin is in the collapsed pulling position. Have protective screen in the raised position when operator is inside the skid steer. Ensure X or T brace is properly positioned flat on ground and anchored. Required pulling tension is set for the corresponding capstan you are using. Your capstans are set in the forward pulling position. Ensure the rope stays in line with the rope roller guide. For any further questions regarding setup and use of the MVP20K, feel free to call us at 865-670-3713.